about Facebook. I think that worked. So now I'm going to try this, and you won't be able to hear me as soon as I turn the countdown on. Claire, and welcome everyone to my weekly Wednesday Live. I am excited to be here with artist Claire Gentry. Hello, Claire.
Hey.
So,
Hey, everyone.
And so Pauline Riley, I know, is watching. So is Dana. I see Dana in the comments. I see Liliana as well. You guys can tell me if you can hear us okay. And while right before we get started, I am going to check one other thing where I think I can put... I wanted to do little text box overlay so that I can have Claire's name. And let's see if I can add that. And then I need to come to put this in a better place, like right here. Okay, awesome. And so, Claire, thank you so much for joining us today. I am incredibly excited for you to be able to share your creative journey with us. I met you several years ago, but it's been a while since we've had a chance to kind of talk about your journey and how you got started as an artist. So you're in my creative community. I met you first when you came into my Doodles program, which was now several years ago.
Well, it was June of 22. Was it 2023? Something around there. I'd lost my job.
Yeah, so the timing is similar. So I, of course, know this is very familiar because I lost my corporate job too. You also lost your corporate job. I think we were the same age. I think you mentioned that I lost mine when I was 55. You lost yours when you were 55.
Exactly.
And that provided an opportunity, instead of getting all bummed out about it, that provided an opportunity for you to kind of pivot. And before we came on camera, you were telling me about how you actually had been interested in surface design, like way before you found me.
Yes.
So let's start there. Tell us a little bit. First, where are you? Where are you in the world? And then tell us about how you became interested in surface design to begin with.
I'm in South Louisiana now. At the time that I became interested in surface design, we were still in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My son was a toddler. I was staying at home with him, and I had a little art business where I was doing a lot of, I was doing all commissions. It was all commissions. So I was doing a lot of stationery. I had a restaurant that I was doing all their custom menus. I was designing all of their marketing, their logos, their marketing. I had a kiln, so I was doing porcelain. I was doing porcelain Christmas ornaments, porcelain anything. And then, of course, I had a toddler at the time. And my mom had given me a book called Follow Your Bliss. And in it, it featured all of these different creative moms, basically, that were making a living staying at home doing the things that they love. One of those moms was a surface designer. She was a watercolor artist, which resonated with me because I was a watercolor artist as well. That was one of the mediums that I did. And she was designing wallpaper. She was working exclusively with a company, designing all their wallpaper, staying at home, raising her little kids. And I thought that would be the coolest thing in the world to do, but I didn't really have time to explore it anymore because I had a very energetic toddler, and then I had all these customers to serve, and then along came my daughter. So
and
then
Claire,
I had,
can I interrupt you for one second and ask you, is there a dog barking outside your house, or is that some kind of weird feedback?
It is a dog.
That's what I thought. So Pauline said that there's an echo on your end, and in fact, I don't think it's an echo. I think it's a dog barking outside.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
have
Pauline, thanks for the heads up, and we apologize, everyone, but we can't obviously control outdoor noise.
Yeah.
So keep going, and hopefully the dog will calm down.
Yeah, his name is Frankie. He's a dachshund. So, so anyway, so I was still doing the art business, got into pharmaceuticals when my daughter started school. And then I was in that for almost 14 years. Lost my job. I panicked, tried to get back into it, and immediately was faced with age discrimination. I'm 55, and in this particular industry, they want 20-year-olds. They want really young people or young women, really. I mean, if I had been a man, they would been they wouldn't have had a problem. So I was really discouraged when I found that, and I thought, well, you know what? What I love to do was art. What I'd been praying to do was to be able to stay at home and still be able to go back to what I loved, which was artwork and writing novels, which I have written one, and I'm just trying to, still trying to promote it. I'm trying to find an agent. But pharmaceuticals, it helped me provide for my family, but I wasn't present for my family. And it was my daughter's senior year in high school. I had missed so much of her high school. It was my son's senior year at UL, University of Louisiana. It was his senior year. And I thought, I'm tired of missing stuff. I'm going to go back to do what I love. And then I remembered surface design. And it just so happened that I ran across your Facebook ad for Doodles to Dollars. And I thought, well, this is providence
Right.
for me to see this, and I'm going to take it. And of course, I was sold immediately, because you're such an amazing teacher, and I learned so much. And when I created my first pattern, I won't forget that first pattern with the little flowers on it, and I was hooked. So then I have got to do the Design Academy. So I was like, I'm going to fight. I've got a bonus coming in, because I still had a bonus coming in for when I ended, because I was ranked really high. I had done really well. They shouldn't have laid me off, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, listen,
Like,
they shouldn't have laid you off, but it's okay in the end because now you can be your
yeah.
own boss.
Exactly. So that bonus came in and more than paid for the Design Academy. And I still have all my notes, everything from the Design Academy to help me through with my pattern making. So I have all these plans to do, you know, like my journals. I want to do journals on KDP, which we had talked about earlier. And so I can use patterns on my cover and the back cover, front cover, back cover, and then all throughout the journal. I also had plans to do tea towels, and I found another company. Spoonflower was really frustrating me on the tea towels, but I found another company that all they do are tea towels, and tea towels and aprons. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I have set goals for myself on, there's going to be we do art walk here in Louisiana every second Saturday. And so my daughter, who's an artist, we've got this planned out. We're going to pick out a Saturday that we're going to do it and show our wares. And I want to have greeting cards and then tea towels and aprons, to set it up in a holiday market. So, that's where the surface, that's how I'm going to use the surface design. I'm also going to have my journals out and my planners and calendars for the coming year.
Yeah, and so let's go back a little bit in history and talk just a little bit about, you knew what surface design was, but before you took Doodles, had you actually ever used Adobe Illustrator?
No, I've been using Photoshop for years. I mean, years I've used Photoshop, but I had never done Adobe Illustrator until you introduced us to that.
And did you find it? Did you find that any of your knowledge in Photoshop actually helped you a little bit with kind of getting used to Illustrator? Because there are some, I mean, a little bit of the layout is the same. They actually work quite differently, and sometimes it's a hindrance. It's sort of like moving from a Mac to a PC and vice versa. But what was your experience?
Well, some of the tools are the same. Some of them, are transferable. But what I found is, the big thing is, yes, they're night and day almost. I basically, when I very first started, is because you were such an amazing teacher with Adobe Illustrator, I kind of separated that off. But what I found, because I have a Zazzle shop, and they have to have very specific, the DPI's got to be 1200. I mean, it's got to be, to meet their standards of artwork. I actually had to take, I would export the file in Adobe Illustrator, export it for the web, turn it into a JPEG, and then I would pull it up in Photoshop and resize the image
Yeah.
and turn it into something I can use for Zazzle to where it would fit and the artwork would look just right and it wouldn't be fuzzy. So I have been using those two in conjunction so that I can get my artwork up to what it needs to be in other shops.
I think that's fantastic. Did you play around with Society 6, or you liked the products that Zazzle offers more? Because what we're talking about, for those of you who aren't kind of in the know, is when you create artwork in either Photoshop or Illustrator, especially if it's a repeating pattern, like my dress, this repeats endlessly, you have the ability to then put it on all kinds of products. You can put it on fabric. You can see all my fabrics right back here, but you can also put it on wrapping paper, which is sort of off to the side. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got mugs and I've got notebooks, and you also have all of these different products. And many of these print on demand companies allow you to do that. You open your own shop, and then you can actually market that shop, and people can buy directly from the company in small quantities. But each one of them offers different products. So what appealed to you for Zazzle specifically, kind of over Society 6, or why did you make that choice?
Well, I looked at Society 6. What I like about Zazzle is that they don't charge you. There's no monthly fee for having a shop. They do not charge you per transaction. So there's no transaction fees. And then also I looked at the products I planned within my collections, and they were more affordable for my, for the viewers. So, any traffic that was coming to my shop, it's more reasonably priced. Like for the wrapping paper, it was actually, it wasn't like a huge difference, but it was enough of a difference that it would make it, I think people would be more likely to buy my wrapping paper off of Zazzle than they would Society 6. Because there's a difference in price.
Yeah.
And the other thing for me was I already had a shop set up, back in the day before I started pharmaceutical sales. So I was able to just build on what I already had.
Oh my goodness, so that's fantastic. And were you selling illustrations before you got into sort of surface design, or what was in the shop before you kind of took a hiatus because you went into sales for 15 years?
Right. I was selling, tote bags, more stationery oriented, but I was doing tote bags. I was doing little backpacks, the backpacks. Basically what I was doing, I was marketing to the kids at my daughter's school, because, she was in band, she was in all of these activities. So I was designing notebooks, the pencils, the pens, the custom pens. I was doing backpacks with the mascot of their high school. And then I started doing mascots of other high schools. For like the T-shirts, the little backpacks that that you could take to like to band or cheerleading or, football, that type of thing.
Yeah,
So that's right.
that's
I picked
awesome.
I picked a niche. I picked a very specific target audience for that.
Yeah, so I think that one of the things that's so amazing about every one of these conversations that I have with members of my community is that you all are so incredibly unique, and you bring a lot of your business knowledge from a different career path in the past, or several different careers over the years, since we all have to reinvent ourselves multiple times, and that's more and more true. But applying your business knowledge, applying your understanding that if you have a specific niche, you can focus on that niche and you can build an audience around that niche instead of trying to kind of be something for everybody. That is so smart. And I wanted to make sure we didn't kind of move too quickly past the whole conversation about KDP. And because I don't know if everybody watching actually knows what that is. So let's talk a little bit about this publishing world through Amazon or Kindle. Talk a little bit about that.
So KDP is Kindle Direct Publishing. Kindle has partnered with Amazon, and they have their own, it's basically self-publishing. So I have a novel. I'm not going to publish it through Kindle Direct Publishing because really I have murder mysteries. So really I need to get an agent for that in so I can get a better book deal. But I can do journals. Guided journals are a big thing right now. Junk journals, which I don't think I understand what those are, but they can be, if you know what those are and y'all can put them together, they can be sold in published through Kindle Direct Publishing. One thing that I'm working on now are planners for sales representatives. I was a sales rep forever. And so I know exactly what I would have found helpful while I was a sales rep. So I'm designing this, and what's great about, now I've taken a couple of classes on it, but if you go to kdp.amazon.com and type in, the directions, how to do this, they have this big, huge list of instructions on how to do this. So, for example, if I was to do with my planner, I'm going to have images in addition to the calendar. It's not going to be just, tasks and goals. I'm going to have artwork in it. So it talks about, if you have an interior with images, it talks about bleed. It tells you exactly what size you need to format your interior pages. And it's all based on how many pages that are in your book. I'm doing, for example, in my planner, I'm having monthly calendars, but I'm also having 1 page per day. So they have all their information that they need to place in there, like their mileage, their expenses per day, and the tasks they need to complete, their goals. And so that's 365 pages plus the 12, plus the title page, plus notes, plus contacts, everything that I want to put in it. I figured out my planner needs to be 385 pages. Based on that, you type that into KDP and it tells you how to format your page. You could take that format, you could put it in Canva, you could put it in Adobe InDesign, is another really good software that you can use to design your planner. And then also, I think there's a couple more like Apple Keynote, but I think that the most user-friendly ones are Adobe InDesign and Canva. You set up your form. You can use your own template or use somebody else's template to create that. And then it also has within KDP, they have a tool that helps you design that front cover and the back cover and the binder. You just input your design in, load it up, and then it creates your your front cover and your back cover, and then you can put something on the spine of
Yep.
it.
On the spine. Nice. Nice. And so as you develop this planner for the sales niche, what is your approach going to be in terms of getting it into the hands of all of your, former colleagues and also other people who are really going to need it? What is your game plan around that?
So, the big thing with online marketing, it's kind of like marketing your Zazzle shop or your Society 6 shop. You've got to have, digital marketing. So you need to have, Facebook ads are not all that expensive. There's Instagram. My daughter had to show me how to use Instagram. So I've started using Instagram for my art business. I have a Facebook business page besides a Facebook personal page. And so basically I'm going to be, and then also put that on my website. So I'll have my website, I'll have social media marketing, and then also I've joined a leads group here in town for that's specifically for women, and we're all in sales. What a coincidence! So I've got my leads group for face-to-face marketing, and I've got all this stuff set up for digital marketing.
That is amazing. And so, one of the things I wanted to make sure we did today was to go to your website. And so, it is Claire Gentry Designs or Claire Gentry. What is
It's you might find it under Claire Gentry Originals, but it's also under www.gentryoriginalpet.com.
Okay, I think that's what it is. So, Claire Gentry
Originals.
Originals.com.
Did it pull up?
It did not. I'm just making sure I spelled everything correctly.
Okay.
But I think
So put gentryoriginalpet.com and see if it pulls up.
Yes. Okay. So now I have to click a button to see if I can actually show that to everybody. So let's see if that works. Hold on. This is going to be okay, look at me. I did it. That's Claire Gentry Originals, right? So it's basically gentryoriginalpet.com. And so talk to us. This is back in the day when you were doing pet portraits.
So I'm still doing pet portraits, but I'm starting to add more and more. So I have a little bit of surface design in there. So my Zazzle shop is part of when you go to the shop is the Zazzle shop, but I'm still doing pet portraits, but I've also started doing people portraits, not painting them but sketching them. And then my Zazzle shop should be in, I don't know if you see it in the shop.
There's a Zazzle store button here.
Yeah.
So let me just see. I might have to go in here to get it. Here we go. Here we go. So hold on a second. Let me now scroll down. It's always a little tricky when here we go. I'm going to scroll down. And so you said, as I mentioned on my homepage, I've recently begun to explore surface design. And that basically means taking my current artwork as well as creating new artwork and placing it on any type of item. Anything from gifts and gift wrap to t-shirts and stationery. Fantastic. So you have a beautiful Easter collection. You have an autumn collection. Which one of these should I go through to? Which one would you like me to show?
Either one. Go to the autumn one.
Okay. I think I have to do that here. Ooh, pretty. Very, very pretty. So these are amazing. And then if you click on them, you can see them up close and personal. You can see how much they cost. And then they also show different images here on the side. So you can kind of see this beautiful plate in a variety of different colorways. Here's another version of it, which is super pretty. Of course, they've got some kind of a fabulous sale happening. So hold on, I got to click that to close it. And this is fantastic. And I love the fact that they'll show it to you in a couple of different ways so that you can kind of see it like a mock-up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And then now, is your KDP shop open?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. So we're going to come back on screen. And so tell us a little bit more about like the time frame for that so that we can all be paying attention to when we either want to have you come back to do a big announcement when it's ready, or when we can start to check it out.
My goal is, because I have it planned out, I just have to upload the pages. Once I get the pages uploaded, the thing with KDP is that they have people who they're not, I guess they're editors. I mean, obviously I'm not writing a book, but they have editors to make sure that it is appropriate, that there's nothing inappropriate about the books, that that is okay, it's within Amazon standards, I guess. And then, so maybe, I don't know if that's a week or two before they decide they can launch it. My goal is to have it by the end of August, definitely by the end of August, maybe mid-August. I'm kind of pushing it because I have 2 kids that I'm trying to get set up in college.
Yeah, you have a little bit of other things going on in your family.
Yeah. So, but my goal is to get it up as soon as possible because people buy their calendars well before the year starts.
Oh, yeah.
And so I want to get that out by September to where I'm marketing it well before 2025. Even if it's an undated calendar, it needs to come out well before 2025, before they buy other planners, before they buy other calendars. I need to get it out.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be really fun for you to ship yourself a copy of it so you can then do lots of Instagram reels and other really fun social media marketing around it. You can do little mini video snippets as you flip through the pages and fill it out. Oh my gosh, I can just imagine all of the different marketing techniques you can use to get the word out and get people super excited to buy it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, and in order to plan it, what I did is I called all my friends that had previously been on my sales team in the various other pharmaceutical companies. I've been laid off 3 times, so I've been with a few companies. So I've gathered a lot of sales rep friends throughout my career. So I contacted all of them and I said, so what do you look for in a planner? What do you need in a planner? And I basically let them give me a list from their input, and then I would add in. I was like, so would it be helpful to have a place to put mileage? Would it be helpful to have a place for expenses on every single day so that at the end of the week, it'll help you with your expense report? So they're like, oh, that's a great idea. So I just basically gathered their input, turned it into what I needed to put in this calendar.
Yeah, so smart. You asked them.
Yes. And I'm going to do the same because I have an idea for a pet planner. So, because obviously I've been working with pet portraits for all these years. So I was looking at what they call Insight Factory through Etsy, and Etsy said that there's a market for pet planners even in the digital planner
World.
space, and that it is really untapped. So I thought would be a great idea is go back to some of the groomers in my area, some of the, like PetSmart, Petco, some of the veterinary groups, and then ask them, say, hey, what do you think of this idea? Because there's so many pets that, they take medicine, they're on a grooming schedule, they're on a schedule taking their heartworm pills or their flea and
Yeah.
tick baths, and there's a lot of pets that are on have chronic illnesses, and you got to keep track of all that. So I'm gonna get their input and then come up. That's gonna be my next planner is for pets.
I think that's so smart. Listen, people love their pets and want to take care of their pets, and indeed, lots of pets have routines that you have to keep track of. So that sounds like an incredibly fabulous niche for you to explore next. So before we wrap up, because I usually stay on for like about a half an
Mhm.
hour, this has been, first of all, so incredibly informative. So thank you so much. But before we go, you have to talk about your novels.
Okay, so I just have one. I have an idea for the next. So I am an Agatha Christie nut. Love Agatha Christie. Murder She Wrote. I have watched every episode of Murder She Wrote.
Love it.
I
Totally love it.
Right when I was a little kid, I read all of Nancy Drew. So I am a cozy mystery freak. Love it. So I'm down here in South Louisiana as I'm being a pharmaceutical rep, and I'm waiting in the waiting rooms, waiting to go talk to the doctors and the nurses with my medications that I'm selling. I'm people watching, and I'm like, that would be a great character for a book. And I go to all these. I'm with the Cajuns. I'm with all of. I mean, if y'all have ever watched episodes of the Swamp People, that's where I am. These are hilarious people. Every town that I go to when I was in sales, every town has its own personality. There's a lot of historic places here in town, and so I created a fictional town based on several of the towns that I grew to know and love very well. I mean, the town itself is its own character. All the characters are people that I've encountered through pharmaceutical sales, as well as through a few family members. I made it fun. I made it light. I threw in a lot of Cajun and two murders.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a very creative protagonist who has her own. She's an artist and she does candle and soap making predominantly, but she also designs porcelain. And she's the main character, and she's going to be in her little group are going to be carried through the other books that are going to be in this series. So
Fantastic. Fantastic. And so are you going to self publish it, or is it already out there, or where can people find it?
now, what I'm doing right now, it's not published yet. I'm working on getting a literary agent.
A book
So
deal.
I did a lot of research, and what they said is for my genre, for cozy mysteries, it's best to have an agent. So I'm going through another master's class on, it's called getabookdeal.com, Get a Book Deal 101. And it's basically working with agents and formal agents that are training us how to write a query, how to land an agent, what exactly needs to be seen in that query letter that we send out, and then how to do a book proposal so that you can land an agent. And then once you land that agent, and they're the ones that go to the publishers and get the really good book deal. So that's where I'm at right now. My goal is to start selling, get those query letters out by starting September, beginning of September, and I already have a spreadsheet set out, kind of like trying to find
A licensing,
a
an
creative
art director.
designer
Yep, an art
for
licensing deal.
licensing. That's what I'm going to do for agents. I've got 50 agents that I've targeted that I'm going to send query letters to and hope somebody sticks.
Good for you. That's fantastic. One of the things I wanted to also do was I wanted to send everybody to my website, which is
Okay.
annafollettart.com. And if you click on the red blog button, which is up here in the right-hand corner, you'll go to the actual blog. And so you can see the summer spotlight on Claire right here. And if you click through there, you can get all of the other information we've been talking about regarding her, how to reach her, how to learn more about her, her Southern background and the career shift that she did, how she got started in Doodles, but then also how she is exploring these new opportunities with KDP. And then she also has this passion for murder mysteries, which is awesome. And she's got some great advice here for you. And then here are links. I wanted to make sure everyone can see that here are links to her Zazzle store, also to her website. So that you can keep track of what she's doing. And of course, I highly encourage you to purchase some of her gorgeous products on either directly through her website or on Zazzle. And I wanted to thank you again so much for joining me today, Claire. But everybody needs to go to annafollettart.com, click on the red blog button, and then you'll see that the very first story there that I just published yesterday is the one about Claire and how she transitioned from sales to surface design. So, is there anything that you would like to say in closing, Claire, to people who are sort of eager to take more control of how they spend their time and have actually always been, like us, creative, but they have never kind of taken that leap, either been forced to because they got laid off, like you and me, or want to make the shift and move into their a place where they can be their own boss? What's advice that you would share? Because it's a
I,
scary thing sometimes to think about doing that, and I'd love your advice.
I think the biggest thing is having confidence in yourself and your talent. And I've been building that confidence as I've done this journey through surface design. But I also it started building my confidence with my artwork. Um, so much so that I've actually signed up for an art show in the fall. It's a juried art show. I've never done that before. I've never considered myself an artist or a fine artist. And so the big thing is have confidence in yourself. Just believe in yourself and take that jump and then go out there. And when people ask you what you do, don't say, oh, I got laid off. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to, like I was doing, I was making excuses. Now I can proudly say, hey, you know what? I'm an artist and I'm a writer.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you sort of have to
then,
step into your power, right? You got to stand in your power. And also, it really helps to say it out loud for yourself because I still don't call myself an artist with a capital A. I'll call myself an artist and I'll think of it in my mind as having a lowercase
right,
a. But,
yeah,
the key thing is actually to realize that, life on earth is short. Our lives on earth it's short. And so it's very precious for us to have the opportunity to get our art out into the world, sort of create the beauty we want to see in the world. And also, my motto is it's never too late to create. And so now's the perfect time to jump in and, learn more about surface design if you want. My programs are all listed on my website, or discover go back to something that you loved to do when you were younger, and it'll still be there for you. And now you can bring it out into the world. So
exactly.
Claire, do you you don't go live? You don't do you have a sign off? I have a sign off. Do you have a sign off before, or are you going to come up with a sign off
Well,
potentially?
think so. I think so. I have I just got, my little moo cards.
Oh, fantastic. Show those to us.
So
They're so, Moo is so, MOO.com is such a great resource for your business cards or even other flyers, other type of
right.
marketing materials.
So I have my, I don't know if you can see that I have my, that's my logo. On the front is the painted rooster. And then on the back of the card has all my information, and it has a little saying here, art inspired by nature. So that could
Oh,
be my sign off, I
I
guess.
love that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to take the your name off for a second so people can see the card better. Flip it over to the other side.
So
Yeah,
I have the little rooster,
it's fantastic.
and that's my logo. It says Painted Rooster Designs, and then on this side it has a couple of my portraits. So I've got a pet portrait, and then a little boy that I'm starting to do sketches at people, because I have something, I can't for the life of me paint a person, but I can draw a person. So I just finished a portrait of an engaged couple, and that's going to be their wedding present from the groom's parents.
Oh,
So
fantastic. Fantastic. Well,
I,
we may have missed some questions in the comments, so you can go back through,
okay,
Claire, and if there were
okay,
some questions in there, you can go ahead and answer them. I am also, you're going to be here when I hit finish, you and I will still be in the green
okay,
room. So don't go anywhere.
sure, okay.
And I want to thank everyone so much for joining us both today. This was so incredibly inspiring. And as you guys know, my sign off is always that I am Anne LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. So join me again next week. Same place, same time, same station. And thank you again, Claire, so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ian.
Bye for now.
Bye.